Welcome, CTM Monarchs. This is Dr. C coming to you from my office on this dreary Sunday of the week that we return to in-person instruction. And even though it's kind of a yucky day outside and cold, I'm really excited about returning to school. I can't wait to see all of our students who are coming back and our teachers. And I know it's going to be an amazing few weeks until the end of the year. I want to share some items with you today. So if you'll just take a moment to spend with me, I'd appreciate it. So in this week's Monarch Messenger, I have a link that I'm going to share with you that is a welcome back with everything that you need to know for the week, plus some things that we shared last week. But I want to make sure that you understand how to navigate this document. So the hybrid calendar for the week of March 15th to March 19th. Our A-Day students are students whose last names begin with the letter A through the letter K, and our B-Day students are students' last names who have last names that begin with the letter L through the letter Z. On Monday and Tuesday, all students are going to be doing asynchronous learning online for all grade levels, for all last names. Teachers and staff are going to be in classrooms preparing for our students' return, and we have some trainings that we have to do. So that's what's going to be happening on Monday and Tuesday. On Wednesday, the big day, students are going to arrive at school, whether they are on the bus, in a car, or they are walker or pickup partner. If you have a student who is in kindergarten, first grade, or second grade who's part of Group A, meaning their last name starts with an A through K in the alphabet, or an ECE student who is kindergarten or first or second grade receiving special education services, they may come to school, and we are expecting them on Wednesday the 17th. Our B group students, who are all grades and ECE, are going to stay home if their last name falls between L through Z. Okay. And then ECE students who are in third, fourth, or fifth grade on Wednesday are staying home as well. Okay. Thursday, Group B, all students, kindergarten, first, second, third, fourth, fifth grades, whose last names fall in the alpha range L through Z, you come to school. And then ECE students who receive special education services. Okay. Group A will be remote. They're going to stay home. On Friday, we have the repeat of the schedule. Group B, kindergarten, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, whose last names start with L through Z, they're going to come to school. ECE students will also be coming to school if students receive special education services, if they have opted for the 2 days or the 4 days, and we have that on file. If you have questions about this, please call the school Monday or Tuesday between the hours of 8:30 to 4:30. Okay. I also would like for parents to check this document regularly during the first 2 weeks of school for changes or updates. If you missed our hybrid reopening parent night, here is all the information. My presentation, our session A presentation about what we're doing for arrival, breakfast, lunch, and dismissal, our session B presentation, common areas, classrooms, health, and isolation room, and then our intro to the night, there's a video, and then our ending Q&A with me. And then we also have our student handbook that's listed here. You should read that and look at that. Our return to school portal, which I'm going to go ahead and click on this so you can see it. If you go here, you can see all these links at the bottom for how we're doing the specific things in different areas of our building to manage and mitigate COVID-19. The transportation affidavit is here, so you can read that. If you put your child on a school bus, you are attesting by the act of putting your child on the school bus that they are healthy and okay to come to school. Our arrival and dismissal information. Our arrival and dismissal has changed a little bit. We really need for you to review this arrival and dismissal plan. Due to COVID and social distancing, our process is staggered and has changed. Your understanding and patience is appreciated. We believe that our dismissal, because of the change, is probably going to take longer the first 2 weeks of hybrid school. So please be patient with us. Arrival begins at 8:30, and the map for where students can come in based on how they are transported to school is listed in the arrival dismissal plan, the link that's at the top of that box. The first 2 weeks, we're going to begin dismissal around 3:30. Beginning the third week, once students and staff have gotten the system down, we're going to resume our normal time of 3:45. Our older students will be dismissed first based on their type of transportation, and then our younger students. Our first run bus riders will always be dismissed from the building first. Our car riders will be dismissed second. Our walkers and pickup partners will be dismissed third. And our second run buses are dismissed fourth. If you are wanting a dismissal change, it needs to be made before 3 p.m. the day of the change. You can send an email, you can call us, whatever you need to do to make that happen. Reach out to the teacher as well. Please know that if you send me an email about an early dismissal, I do not always see my email during the course of the day, and I want to make sure that that gets there. So you can email it to Miss Leah Carter or Jackie Ross or Miss Sharon Cook. We're not doing early dismissals after 3 p.m. without a doctor's note for the child because of the attendance minutes that the child loses if they are out. We have to have that note. Please make sure that you have your car rider number and an ID if you are coming to pick up your child early, because if you arrive at 3 p.m. or after, we will direct you to the car rider line and you'll need that number. Backpacks. All students need a backpack on them every single day, and especially the first day of school. Students will be tagged with transportation on their backpack, and the tag must be on the backpack every day. Please help us out with making sure your child has a backpack on the first day of school. Car rider and pickup partner walker tags. You need these before Wednesday, March 17th. Come by the school on Monday or Tuesday this week to pick up the tag. If you need additional tags, you need to talk to Jackie Ross. Class numbers. At this time, on average, our students on Monday, Tuesday, AA days are 9 per class. And on average, on our BB days, students, we have about 10 kids per class. There are a few classrooms that are less and a few that are more, but we feel pretty confident that we're able to maintain current social distancing guidelines with those numbers. We have our class schedule, so you can see what's going on. And this is what the time for each activity is going to be for each class. Please know that the teachers will be sharing with you their class schedules, especially for virtual, so you know what's going on. Remote learning is going to be a bigger deal this time around than NTI, because teachers and students are expected to spend a lot of time in instruction in large group and small group settings on Google Meet. So please be mindful of that. Our lunch schedule, we have a family copy that's listed there for you, so you are aware. Students will only have one lunch option served each day in the cafeteria due to the numbers in the building and the cleanliness and social distancing that we need, because we can't have kids spending a lot of time in the lunch line. We got to make them move through quickly. Students will be eating in the cafeteria their lunch each day. If your child has dietary restrictions or allergies, you can call the school on Monday, March 15th and get some help with that. Students can bring a lunch on their in-person days, but they may not share food, bring candy, sodas, or highly sugar foods. And at this time, only kindergarten will be allowed to have in-class snack. Teachers will arrange that with parents. Only single-serve packaging for in-class snack is allowed. If a kid is sick at school, If a kid is sick before they get to school, please keep your child at home if you think they're sick. Do not send your child to school if they have a fever of 100.4, a cough that's different than their normal, shortness of breath or difficulty breathing, GI issues, gastrointestinal issues with vomiting or diarrhea, a new rash, or if they've been exposed to a COVID-19 case during a 48-hour period before the onset of symptoms. So if you all went to Granny's house this weekend and you were there on Saturday and she calls you on Monday morning and says she tested positive for COVID, that child needs to stay home. Do not send your kid to school with any of those symptoms. Our number one priority is making sure that students and staff are healthy and safe, and other issues that we've had around COVID, we can keep those things at bay if people just follow directions and take care to not bring their children to school. If you read our arrival and dismissal, you'll see what we will do if a child shows up at school who is not feeling well or has gotten sick during the day and they're a bus rider. There's information there about that specifically. If your child comes to school and becomes ill or starts to feel sick, parents will have 2 hours to come pick up the child, or they will be transported to a local hospital by EMS. CTM staff will go with the child, and the following day, the student will be enrolled in the virtual learning academy the next school day. Please do not send your child to school ill. Please do not leave your child here sick. Masks and social distancing. Number one priority is health and safety of students. If you have concerns about your child following COVID-19 guidelines around social distancing and mask wearing, you should consider switching to Virtual Learning Academy. If we have repeated defiance of redirections and corrections to keep the child's mask on and for them to stay away from people and provide some space to students and staff, we will consider removing the child and referring them into a VLA classroom for the remainder of the year. If you think your child needs a mask waiver due to special needs, contact the main office tomorrow to receive the paperwork to submit your child's submit the paperwork to your child's pediatrician. All mask waivers must be returned to the school before any changes are made for the child or the classroom. We know that we have parents who need to drop off medicine. There is a link here for the JCPS medicine forms. No medicine can be dropped out without proper documentation. Call the school for questions. You can drop off the medicine with the correct documentation during the school hours of 8:30 to 4:30 each day. We've had some parking changes. Nobody can park on the church lot at the corner of Chestnut and 11th Street. It is private property. Do not park there, and do not double park on Chestnut Street or drop off your child in the street, or wait in the street for pickup for our walker students. Parents entering the school building. Under normal circumstances, we are a very community-oriented building, and parents come to breakfast and lunch. But during COVID, we are limiting access to the building. Parents may choose a virtual or in-person ARC meeting for students who are in the process of or who are receiving ECE services. But parents will not be able to just come in for breakfast or lunch visits or volunteer at this time due to tight contact tracing. When coming to pick up your child for early dismissal, use the front doors and follow the process for sign out as directed by the office staff. We're using QR codes, so you'll need your phone, and you must have your state ID. Picking up students and early dismissal, again, you must use the front door and follow the process that's directed to you by the office staff. You'll need to have your phone to digitally sign and a valid picture ID. It is state law. If you do not have a smartphone, that's fine. We'll bring you a sign-out sheet to the door, but an ID is still required. We have our supply list that's present right here. You can check that out. We do have bins for each student in classrooms for them to have their materials in. If you want to switch your child from hybrid to remote or back again, After March 17th, any change to your child's learning selection, whether they're in person or virtual, must be requested 1 week before the change is to be made in order to prepare the classroom, space, and staff logistics. All requests must be in writing, whether a letter or email. And if you have questions about this, you need to email me. The district is strongly encouraging parents to stick with their first selection. Okay. And then the last thing I have to share today is we have 2 beautiful water filters, water bottle fillers that are attached to 2 water fountains. Our water fountains are currently not turned on for use. So students must bring a water bottle. They can bring one that's already been filled, or they can bring a reusable one. The bottle must be thrown away at the end of the day if it's a single-use bottle. And if it is not a single-use bottle, it will be taken home and washed, and you can fill it up at home the next morning and bring it back. Students can, again, refill their bottles at 2 of our stations. We are not responsible for lost or misplaced water bottles. Students' names need to be written on them clearly. If you have questions, reach out. There will be more communications coming to you this week from us at CTM and also the district. We appreciate all of your support, all of your questions, all of your cheerleading and your shout outs. This truly is an amazing school with an amazing staff, and they are so excited to be back with their students. And you would probably not believe it. Maybe you would. We have more teachers in this building that want to teach live in-person students than we have spots for. So please know that while it was an inconvenience for parents and students, and we understand the switching, how that can be inconvenient and not ideal for students to have a new teacher, 2/3 of the way of the year in. We're doing this as a way to make sure that we're providing what our kids need. We are providing some access and more equity, and we're also following Kentucky state law. So we, again, appreciate you and your flexibility and your patience. If you need anything, please reach out to the school. Under normal circumstances, I say email me, but this week is going to be a very busy week, so I'd appreciate if you need something to call the school at 502-485-8232. That's all for Dr. C. Have a great rest of your weekend. Take care and peace.